Greetings, beloved. My name is Laquanique Louise Lake, and I am here because my heart calls me here on this particular day to share, to give voice to an experience that I had earlier on this week. And not just any experience, but an experience that supported my journey of internal liberation, my journey of healing. I'm called to share this experience with you, beloved, in hopes that it nurtures and supports your own internal journey toward liberation. Remember that when one of us heals, we all heals, for our healing does not exist in a bubble. It does not exist separated from the collective. And so this healing journey of mine, this internal liberation, feels very much like liberation for us all. I've been exploring my healing journey from the perspective of living a human experience that is multidimensional. And for me, that is an exploration of my human experience at the level of the mind, at the level of the body, at the level of the soul, at the level of the spirit, and at the level of the heart. So that when I am activating my practices, when I am tapping into my wisdom, when I am tapping into my knowledge to support me in liberating myself, I'm doing it at all of the aforementioned dimensions. And so you'll see that as I begin to share with you what it is that came through for me through a writing experience that I had, again, with interacting with my wisdoms or my consciousnesses. Anyway, earlier on this week, got a credit card, called the place so that I can activate this credit card. And when I got on the phone with the telephone agents, there were some questions that I had. I was curious. The process seemed overly complicated to me and in many ways inaccessible when thinking about the collective, at least inaccessible to some. So I was asking all these questions and they were getting all frustrated and irritated with me. And I could hear it, or maybe they were just nonchalant, didn't really give a fuck. And that energy really rubs me the wrong way. However, on this particular time, this instance stood out to me. Yeah, I know that energy doesn't resonate with mine. However, I began to have this experience of thought, like I could hear over the line, or at least it sounded as if the persons that I was talking to, I spoke to two individuals, the initial agent, and then I asked them to bump me up to a supervisor. So I'm under the impression, at least in my mind, that the individuals that I'm speaking to are Caucasian. At least that's what it sounds like. Of course, I have no proof of that. But in my mind, I began to go into this place of thought of, oh, they hung up the phone on me, or they cut me short, or they were curt with me because I'm Black. And they're disrespecting me because I'm Black. And here are these white women disrespecting me because I'm Black and because they see me as less than. These are the thoughts that are going in my head. Again, I have no proof of this, no evidence of this, but this is what's going on up here. And when I had that experience of thought, it gave rise to this suboptimal emotional experience. And for me, that was anger. And so I'm feeling this anger in my belly. I'm feeling the energy of this anger sort of move throughout my physical body. And I'm also speaking to myself internally about this anger. I'm telling myself, look, it's not that serious. Let it go. You don't want to waste your energy on that bullshit experience. You don't want to keep focusing on this past experience. Like, it's okay. Move into the future. Move into your place of peace. Do not let this experience create a continuous disruption in your day, a continuous disruption of your peace on this day. And yet that suboptimal energy remained in my body, remained in my being, and it probably was for about a period of, I'd say, 10 minutes or so. I'm just like, man, I can't shake this energy. What is this? I can't shake this energy. I don't want this with me, or I'm having trouble. It's not that I can't shake the energy, but I'm having trouble moving out of this place of anger. And so I activated my curiosity. For me, curiosity is key, especially when I'm having internal experiences of the suboptimal, what people may call negative internal experiences. So I'm asking myself, okay, like, what is this about? What is this anger about? Because for me, I recognize in my healing journey that whenever there is an experience of pain, whether it is emotional pain, whether it is psychological pain, whether it is physical pain, whether it is soul pain, whenever there is an experience of pain, medicine is also present. That is the grace of the divine. That is the grace of God. And so I'm like, okay, it's time for me to perhaps do a little bit more of a deep dive into this. What is my medicine? What am I called to do in this particular moment in order to move this suboptimal energy, in order to let the light in order to move into the place of healing for myself? And I felt called to writing. And so for me, I pulled out my journal, pulled out my pen, and I asked a question. And that question was and is, why am I so angry about that interaction that I had with the telephone agent? Holding the intention for myself before I begin to put the pen to paper, holding the intention that no suboptimal thought, no ego, no judgment get in the way, that it stand down. That's me activating my own internal authority. And also holding the intention for myself that I truly and genuinely want to receive this answer fully and wholly from all of my sources of consciousness, all of my sources of wisdom, all of my sources of knowledge in this multi-dimensional human experience. So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm open to mind, body, soul, spirit, and heart. Talk to me. Let us commune for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of moving into a greater sense of, a greater experience of internal liberation and authentic empowerment. And so I'm going to share with you what came through, what came forward for me. I wrote it down. However, I had to type it up because when I'm writing and receiving from all of those different means or modes of wisdom, of knowledge, of information, it comes out really, really sloppy. So I've typed that up. However, I do want to say that you'll note when I read what it is that I have written that the flow of it is not in accordance per se with the flow of something that would have been solely written from the mind space. You may hear, or you may be able to pick up on sort of the timelessness or the movements in and out of time and through time, forwards and backwards as I am reading. Because what begins to happen is I start out with my own personality and the experience of anger and dis-ease from the perspective of my own personality, and then I began to move into my soul's experience, which connects me to an African ancestor, a Ghanaian ancestor, and this ancestor begins to speak of his experience. And then you see a flow, even still at that soul level, moving into the spirit level, where you may begin to pick up on the oneness of all beings. This ancestor is speaking about his past experience, and then he begins to speak a blessing over the now. And even as he is speaking, there is like a council of ancestors or village or community of ancestors that are speaking in accordance with him, validating what it is that he is saying. And then this Ghanaian ancestor begins to speak a blessing over himself. And then this Ghanaian ancestor begins to speak a blessing over his lineage. And as he is speaking this blessing, there is also a council or a village or a community of ancestors that are standing with him, rooting for the blessing of the lineage and also joining with him in blessing the lineages forwards and backwards through time and beyond time. And then you may even begin to pick up on the wholeness of life, the oneness of life, the oneness of love, the one love, as expressed by myself in communion with this ancestor who is part of my lineage, who is also me, who is connected to the ancestors who are also me, as I am them, which is also connected to all there is, all of life, life everlasting, life eternal, life I am. And so here it is. This is what comes through. After my asking of the question, why am I still experiencing anger related to the rude phone agent? I'm angry because I want to be heard all the way and ask questions with receiving an answer. Who do they think I am? How dare they hang up without giving me the chance to be fully expressed in my thoughts? It's because I'm not seen as worthy. I am an African. I am not perceived as worthy by man of white skin. Why do they hate me so? Why do they treat my body as less than? Why? I am angry. Angry, not at that instance over the phone, but at the hundreds of thousands of times I've been perceived to be ugly, unimportant, and unworthy. Rage is not who I am. Black is neither me nor my life. I am beloved within my African country. I am light and admired and wealthy and strong and beautiful and free. Why must I be less than here? What demon lies on me so as to tell me I am not a man too? What craftiness is this? What breeds hatred so? Where have I been taken? For this is not our people's way. We are life-giving and life-blessing. And all of life is working in perfect unison and harmony with me. No more. No more shall I harbor lightless emotions any longer for those who hate me. No more shall I harm myself because I am harmed by others who are full of hatred. Receive this healing, where I am healed of my past pain, and no more shall it pass down to the lineages of Ghanaians connected to my line of blood and my line of wisdom and my line of spirit. Free am I, and free are all my children. Freedom we sing, for life we are, and freedom is love. Love be love, for we are whole and free. Love be we. Africans are loved too. Yes, we are. Africans are loved too. Yes, we are. Africans are one with all of life too. Yes, we are. African is life too. Yes, we are. African child, be life too. For you too are life everlasting. And the transmission ends there. And later it comes through to me as an blessing over African children, or blessing over the descendants of those who were enslaved, particularly those connected to this Ghanaian lineage, but not solely of those connected to this Ghanaian lineage. For all African children, for all Black children, for all Black peoples, irrespective of ethnicity or national origin. And so that I say, Ashe. May you receive this blessing with your heart. Not with here, because we don't receive blessings with our minds, but may you receive this blessing with your heart as I have received this blessing with my heart. And may it be in service to the internal liberation of us all, as we all remember who we are beyond this life and form, which is infinite and eternal and everlasting love. I am we. We are you. You are me. I am we. And we are one. Love.